praises to the Most High, Father Yah. Be ye separate and sin not. Be ye separate and sin not. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 1 through 8. Look what it says. When Yahweh Elohim shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations, greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh Elohim shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou not take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yah be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall you deal with them. You shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh Elohim. Yahweh Elohim hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Yah did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. But because Yah loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, have Yah brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of the bondmen from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So here we see that the Most High told the children of Israel that I have chosen you to be a holy people, a special people, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Yah said that. I didn't. For people that get offended and say, hey, this is the words of Yah. Okay? But it's just so happened that Israel is the lowest of the low right now because they turned away from Yah and started worshiping the gods of the same people he said destroy. And that's what we're doing today. Okay? We still following the ways of the heathen. We still worshiping their gods. We're not being separate. We look down upon our culture that Yah gave us. And we withheld and put their culture on a pedestal. Okay? But you notice he said he took us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. What you think he's going to do again in the United States? Huh? Let's go to Leviticus 18. Leviticus 18, verse 25. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants. You shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done. What men of the land? The Canaanites who were in the land before the children of Israel got there. Okay? Which were before you, and the land is defiled, that the land spew not you out also, when you defile it, as it spitted out the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them, shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall you keep my ordinance, that you commit not any one of these abominable customs. Okay? This is just the first part. Be ye separate and sin not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, all of the commandments. Well, not all of them, but majority of them. The main ones, right? The abominable things, the statutes, the laws that Yah told us not to do. And I'm going to show you that these same things was the things that these nations in the past was doing, and it's the same thing that the nations today are doing. Yah told us don't follow after their ways. When he told us not to do something, you best believe, of course it's wicked, but he told our ancestors before they went into that land because those people were doing everything he told us not to do. And they're still doing it now. Okay? So he said, which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yah Elohim. Yah commanded us to stay separate. That was his commandment. Let's go to Deuteronomy 7. Yah commanded us to stay separate from the nations, as far as not following the ways of their gods. Okay? And Yah blessed our ancestors as long as they fought, and he fought for them as long as they did what was right. Because we seeing everything that's happening with us today, right? All the unjustly things. And we at war right now. But I hear a lot of Hebrews say, hey, we need to just get together and fight, physically fight. I'm not saying you should be walking around weak and don't know how to fight, okay? I'm the last person to tell you that. As much as I work out and, steady sparring in the house and trying to learn different things, techniques of fighting and weapons and stuff, and friends that I'm around. So I'm the wrong person to tell you that. I'm not saying that if somebody breaks in your house or someone tries to harm your family or you or, other people that you may know that you should just sit there. Like, Yeshua even told his disciples, sell everything you have and go and get a sword. But to all come together and fight against this whole country, that is not in the will of Yah. And if you think so, you got more studying and praying to do. Okay, because Yah is the one that's going to release us. How do we fight this war? Ultimately, we fight this war spiritually. Okay, by turning to Yah. Okay? That's how we fight this war, because them people who are coming against us, they have Satan working for them. They have Satan and different entities that is from another realm working for them. Okay? But as long as you keep sinning and doing what you're not supposed to do, you don't have nobody behind you. You need Yah behind you, because they have spiritual entities behind them. This is one thing you got to understand. That's why you can't go out and just say, oh, I'm going to get a bunch of rifles and just revolt. For one, you don't even have a country to go to, because our land, we're not in our homeland. Two, they have spiritual entities behind them. Satan and the angels. So you have to fight this thing spiritually. But let's get back into it. Deuteronomy 7 verse 12. Wherefore it should come to pass, if you hearken to these judgments and keep and do them, that Yah thy Elohim shall keep unto thee the covenant and the mercy which he swore unto thy fathers. And he will love thee and bless thee and multiply thee. All throughout the scriptures, we keep saying that he said he will multiply thee. But now black people who are the Hebrews, they think it's a shame to have kids now. It's like a burden to have kids amongst our people now. Oh, well, I'm going to just wait till I'm this age. But you're married already. You think that you have control if you lay with your wife and you put your semen, your seed into her, you think that you can just say, okay, I want you to get pregnant this month. Yah's in control of all of that. So having children is nothing wrong with it. You could lay with your wife for 2-3 years straight and she'll never get pregnant. You know why? Because Yah's in control of it. So don't be afraid of that. That's a blessing before Yah, actually. He will also bless the fruit of thy womb. Look at that. The fruit of thy womb, once again. Children. And the fruit of thy land, thy corn and thy wine and thine oil, and the increase of thine kind and the flocks of thy sheep in the land which he swore unto thy fathers to give thee. A lot of people say, well, we're not in land, so I don't want to have kids. That's your choice. If you don't want to have kids, stay celibate, period. Don't get married. Because having children, these children you're raising up to be the future generation to enter into the kingdom. Do you understand? This is why they don't want us having children. Because the more believers have children, the more people are going to get raised up to walk with Yah. Verse 14, thou shalt be blessed above all people. There shall not be male or female bearing among you or among your cattle. Verse 15. You see that? Once again. And I'm speaking on the Hebrews that I ran across and that I spoke with that talk like this. I know all Hebrews don't believe this. But he said it again. You shall be blessed above all people. Why? From other things that he blessed us with. But he said there shall be no male or female barren among you. Look at that. Once again, children. Okay, our ancestors, they looked at children as a beautiful thing. When women couldn't get pregnant in the Bible days, they was depressed. It was sorrowful for them. Verse 15, and Yah will take away from thee all sickness, and will put none of the evil diseases of Egypt, which thou knowest, upon thee, but will lay them upon all them that hate thee. Who the people that hate us now? Think about it. You're going to do it again. And thou shalt consume all the people which Yah thy Elohim shall deliver thee. Thine eyes shall have no pity upon them, neither shalt thou serve their gods, for that will be a trap, a snare unto thee. If thou shalt say in thine heart, these nations are more than I, how can I dispossess them? Verse 18, thou shalt not be afraid of them, but thou shalt remember what Yah thy Elohim did unto Pharaoh and to all Egypt. This how we gotta think today. Don't be afraid of them. When you walking with Yah, they got Satan behind them. Now you have Yah behind you. It don't matter what fake diseases, real diseases, whatever they release, it's not going to work. Because Yah's behind you. He controlled them. He only allowing them to do that. He's allowing Satan to do what he do. Satan don't even love them, and they stupid. They the most foolish nation on earth. These people that's walking before Satan, that's trying to take over the world and oppressing the Israelites. They the most dumbest people on the planet because they let Satan trick them. And they think they about to get something in the end. Verse 17, and thou shalt say in thine heart, these nations, verse 19, I went back. The great temptations which thine eyes saw, and the signs and the wonders and the mighty hand and the stretched out arm whereby Yah thy Elohim brought thee out, so shall Yah thy Elohim do unto all the people of whom thou art afraid. See that? So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 6. Therefore thou shalt keep the commandments of Yah thy Elohim to walk in his ways and to fear him. For Yah thy Elohim bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines, fig trees, pomegranates, a land of olive oil and honey. So Hebrews that think, what should I eat to get healthy? Look in the Bible. And I got several verses for that. But back to it. Let's go to verse 9. A land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness. Thou shalt not lack anything in it. A land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass. When thou hast eaten and art full, then shalt thou bless Yah thy Elohim for the good land which he hath given thee. See that? So when Yah begins to bless you in this life, you have food on the table, you and your family are doing pretty okay. He said, you got to bless him. You got to thank Yah. After you eat that meal, thank Yah. Okay? After Yah bless you with anything, thank him. Verse 11. Beware that thou forget not Yah thy Elohim, in not keeping his commandments and his judgments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. Lest when thou hast eaten and art full, and hast built goodly houses and dwelt therein, and when thy herds and thy flocks multiply, and thy silver and thy gold is multiplied, and all that thou hast is multiplied, then thine heart be lifted up, and thou forget Yah thy Elohim, which brought thee forth out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. This is what happened with our ancestors. When you read the book of Judges, this is what they did over and over and over again. Yah will bless them, get them through something, they get comfortable. We can't do this, okay? That's why we got to meditate on his word day and night. Meditate, pray, read, because it's easy to forget. Don't think that it's not when you stop doing what you're supposed to be doing, okay? Don't put too much faith in yourself to think that you just got the strength to That's why you need Yahushua HaMashiach. Because you can't do it alone. It's easy to forget. So you got to continue to keep seeking them, keep praying, keep reading, keep doing the works, the good deeds. Verse 15, who led thee through that great and terrible wilderness, wherein were fiery serpents and scorpions and drought, where there was no water? Who brought forth water out of the rock of flint? Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee, to do thee good at thy latter end? Understand what we just read. Who led our ancestors through the great and terrible wilderness? Fiery serpents and scorpions was. Drought, meaning they walked through the desert when there was no water. Who brought forth water out of the flint rock? Who rained out of heaven manna? So if the Most High was able to do all these things for them in the midst of a desert, don't you ever think in your heart that he can't do the same for you in this land with what's going on right now. Verse 17, and thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand have gotten me this wealth. But thou shalt remember Yah thy Elohim, for it is he that give you power to get wealth, that he may establish his covenant which he swore unto thy fathers, as it is this day. Let's go to Joshua chapter 1. Now after the death of Moses, the servant of Yah, it came to pass that Yah spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore arise and go over the Jordan, this Jordan, thou and all thy people, this people unto the land which I do give them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses, from the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites. You know what the land of the Hittites was? Guess what? Turkey. So people think that little patch of land that's over there today, that they show on the map today, that little patch, and they say that's Israel, they think that's all the inheritance of the children of Israel. No, it's bigger than that. It's much bigger. It's not just that little patch. They made that map and said Israel. But the Most High, when you read, he's going to give us more than that. Okay, Yah will. We get there. Let's pray that we count it worthy to get there. But the land of the Hittites, the ancient land of the Hittites, was Turkey. And unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so will I be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake you. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people thou shalt divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto thy fathers to give them. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper wherever you go. So he's saying you keep these commandments, you're going to prosper everywhere you go. But look what he said in verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. What do he mean by that? Family member come to you, I'm about to go and get something for Christmas, such and such for Christmas this year. Do you just walk away and not say nothing? If you walk away and say something, the law departed out of your mouth, right? But if you tell them, hey, Jeremiah chapter 10, that's an idol, that's a false god that you worshiping on that day, love Yah with all your heart, mind, body, and soul, the law not departing out of your mouth. But thou shalt meditate therein day and night. When you wake up in the morning, pray. Think of his laws. Think of all the good things he did for you. Before you go to sleep, pray. Think of his laws. Meditate on the ones that you may have broken before, you need help with. Okay? Meditate on them laws. Think of the goodness that he did for you. that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. Look at that. That you may observe to do according to all that is written therein. You can't go no a whole month without reading the Bible. You know what's going to happen? You may make a mistake. Because you got to read the Bible. And once you read the Bible, even if you go a couple days without reading the Bible, you can still meditate on that word, them verses that you read in your heart and mind all throughout the day. But it's smart to not go too long without reading the Bible, the holy word of Yah. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and thou shalt have good success. There it goes again. There it goes. So Yah is clear as day, giving us the way. But what did our ancestors do? They did exactly what he said not to do. And what happened? What happened? Where are we now? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 19 through 20. And it shall be, if thou do at all forget Yah thy Elohim, and walk after other gods, and serve them, and worship them, I testify against you this day that you shall surely perish. As the nations which Yah destroyed before your face, so shall you perish, because you will not be obedient unto the voice of Yah thy Elohim. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yah thy Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. See that? That's what we're going through today as a nation. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 24. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites, which bear the ark of the covenant of Yah, saying, take this book of the law, and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yah your Elohim, that it may be there for a witness against you. For I know your rebellion, and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you today, you have been rebellious against Yah, and how much more after my death. So Moses saying, look, I know these people. Yah even told me he know these people, so I know these people. They've been rebelling like crazy since I've been alive. So what's going to happen when I die? Verse 28, gather unto me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death you will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days. Because you will do evil in the sight of Yah, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song until they were ended. And that's exactly what they did. And that's why we're here now in this wicked country. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 15. But Jeshurun, Israel, waxed fat and kicked. Thou art waxen fat. Thou art grown thick. Thou art covered with fatness. So what he's saying is Israel, they got rich. Once they started walking with the Most High, they began to get mighty and rich, and they started to get things and get land and get cattle and get wives and get children, right? Then he forsook Elohim, which made him. So when Yah did all these things, what they do? They forsake Yah and lightly esteem the rock of his salvation. They provoke him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoke they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to Elohim. Our people doing that right now. They sacrificing the devils. Okay? People like Illuminati. But look, the children of Israel were sacrificing unto devils then. What makes you think they ain't doing it now? It's not a conspiracy. It's nothing new. To gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten Elohim that formed thee. And when Yah saw it, he abhorred them, because of the provoking of his sons, and his daughters, and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not Elohim. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. Who is that talking about? He says, since the children of Israel, which is us, the black people that scattered across the whole world, the Negroes, he says, since they turned away from me, he said, I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. That's happening today with all the heathens that's killing us, with all the heathens that triumph over us every time, with all the heathens that are just, up over us. They're prospering more than us. Okay? They're ruling over us. That's what he's talking about. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter, let's stay in 32. Let's go to verse 36. Verse 36. For Yah shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants when he see that their power is gone and there is none to shut up or left. See? So Yah gonna have mercy. He's gonna have mercy in these days, right? He's gonna have mercy. But look what he said right here. Verse 30. Let's go back to 30. 30 to 31. My bad, y'all. 30 to 31. Look what he said. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight? So people say, hey, how was these white people able to come and enslave these muscular Hebrew looking guys? These Hebrew muscular looking guys, strong, warrior types, right? Not saying everybody was this super fierce warrior, but our people, look at them today. They dominate boxing. They dominate track and field. They dominate a lot of combat sports. Men were, these was in the days where we was in other countries, America feminizing our people. But, these guys were strong. Strong men, masculine men, warriors, right? But how the heck was these people able to enslave them? How? How was they able to get all of y'all? It was so less of them, but more of you. And how was they able to accomplish that? How was they able to be on the plantation every day and it's more y'all than them, but yet they still had power over you and enslave you? This is how. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight? Except their rock had sold them and Yah had shut them up. For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. Yah's behind it. That's why. Yah's behind it. Let's go to verse 37. And he shall say, where are their gods, their rock, in whom they trusted, which did eat the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you and be your protection. Let them gods of Christmas rise up and help you. Let them Egyptian gods rise up and help you. Let all the new age theories and stuff you follow rise up and help you. It's not going to happen. It's not. Walk with Yah and repent, because the days is at hand. And Yah not playing. And you don't want to be, you got to be separate, because if you're not separate, you're going to feel the plagues that he's bringing on, that he's judging the nations with. Verse 39, see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. See that? So why are you fearful? Why are you walking down the street so fearful? If believers definitely shouldn't be this way. I'm speaking to believers. There's no point of being fearful because Yah is in control of every single thing. Okay? So if you're fearful, then you must be, still out there sinning. Verse 40. For I lift up my hand to heaven, and I say I live forever. If I whet my glittering sword, and my hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to my enemies, and will reward them that hate me. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain and of the captives, from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. See that? So Yah is in control. Yah is in control of everything. Okay? So Yah, he's gonna protect us in this country, as long as we stay separate from the heathens and walk after the ways of Yah, keeping the commandments, laws, statutes, following the Hebraic culture that Yah gave us, and not the culture of the heathen. Let's go to these last two places. Let's go to Jeremiah 15, verse 19. Jeremiah 15, verse 19. Therefore, thus say Yah, if thou return, then will I bring thee again, and thou shalt stand before me. And if thou take forth the precious from the vial, thou shalt be as my mouth. Let them return unto thee, but return not thou unto them. And I will make thee unto this people a fenced brazen wall, and they shall fight against you. But they shall not prevail against you, for I am with thee to save thee and to deliver thee, say Yah. And I will deliver thee out of the hand of the wicked, and I will redeem thee out of the hand of the terrible. So Yah is going to do this. Let's go to Psalms 81. Sing aloud unto Elohim our strength, and make a joyful noise unto Elohim of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither. I'm sorry, guys. I started at verse 1. I'm at verse 2 right now. I'm going to start over. Verse 1. Sing aloud unto Elohim our strength. Make a joyful noise unto Elohim of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel and pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Israel and a law of the Elohim of Jacob. This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. I removed his shoulder from the burden. His hands were delivered from the pots. Thou calledst in trouble, and I delivered thee. I answered thee in the secret place of thunder. I proved thee at the waters of Meribah, Selah. Hear, O my people, and I will testify unto you. O Israel, if thou wilt hearken unto me, there shall no strange God be in thee, neither shalt thou worship any strange God. I am Yah thy Elohim, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Open thou mouth wide, and I will fill it. But my people would not listen to my voice, and Israel would none of me. So I gave them up unto their own hearts' lusts, and they walked in their own counsels. Oh, that my people had listened unto me, and Israel had walked in my ways. I should soon have subdued their enemies and turned my hand against their adversaries. You see this? Yah is saying, if my people would have just did what was right, I would have been destroyed your enemies. All this stuff that's going on, I would have been destroyed them. I would have been destroyed them for you. Okay, but this is a different time. Like, I want everybody to listen and understand, especially those who are listening who's not really believers, that's just getting the word and seeking Yah in the beginning, but also people that's believers too, that have been in the walk with Yah and been in the word for a minute, but really to the people that's just getting into this. This is a spiritual warfare. They have Satan and the angels on their side. I keep saying this because I wanted to get in your head. I wanted to stick in your head and heart. They have the angels and Satan on their side. They have spiritual entities, not just physical things. But we have we have a spiritual Elohim, Yahuwah, and Yahushua HaMashiach that will fight for us, that can control the demons, that is the creator of the demons that they worship. So you have to choose who you're going to side with. Verse 15, the haters of Yah should have submitted themselves unto him, but their time should have endured forever. He's talking about Israel right here. Look what he said. He should have fed them also with the finest of the wheat, and with honey out of the rock should I have satisfied thee. He said, I would have been giving y'all the best right now. Y'all supposed to be at the top. Y'all supposed to be over all the nations. Y'all supposed to be in y'all own land right now, ruling over the world in righteousness. But we went and chose the gods of the heathens, the same people who are oppressing us. But yet our people, they see these people oppressing us and killing us, but yet you still go and worship their gods. Does that make sense? So be ye separate and sin not. The next video is going to come soon where I'm going to break down the different laws, statutes, and I'm going to show how these heathens were doing these things. A lot of them were rituals, customs, days, all types of things they celebrated. This stuff was just not something that popped up out of thin air. Some of this stuff like actually have real meanings behind it. So I hope you all got something from this. All praise to the Most High. Yahuwah. Shalom.